Hey y'all, Natalie here for another Mixed Media Frenzy Friday. Today we are scrap lifting this gorgeous layout by Rika Kovasin, and I'm going to turn it 190-degree turn to the right. I have applied clear gesso to this 9x12 page. I'm also changing the size, and I'm scrapping that cute little snow picture of my dog Belle. I grab a blue spray. It's like a very soft powdery blue, and I almost never spray directly onto the page without turning it into a watercolor. But in Rika's layout, she kind of has the spray look behind her photo, so I wanted to achieve that. So I sprayed this lighter blue color, and then I'm going to go in with just 2 spritz of this darker navy blue color, but I really like the spray that it gave that will peek around from the photo. So a lot of that's going to be covered up. But now I've mixed the two on my glass mat, and I'm going to go around the edges of my white paper, because you can see in her layout she has really dark corners and darker edges than the middle portion of her paper. So I'm just kind of using that ink as well as some water to go around each edge of that paper. And we're going to soften that up even more. So I know it doesn't look great, so don't worry about that. But I had so much fun creating this. So while that dries, I'm going to use these new Stamp Market stamps and dies that I just got. They had an amazing clearance sale the other day, and I snapped up I think 3 stamp sets and dies, and they were each like $5 or less. So I'm talking a really great deal. So this one I think is called Sprigs and Berries, and it didn't come with an instruction sheet. So I am going to play around with it to figure out how it's supposed to look. My initial idea was going to be like green sprigs with white heat embossing over it, but ended up that doesn't work. And I'm okay with it because I actually really love the way it finally came out. But I'm just inking up the twigs with gathered twigs, distress oxides, and then I'm using 3 different green inks on the branches part, because I was just kind of like experimenting and seeing what colors I wanted to use. And then there's also that original, just a lonely twig with no greenery, because there's berries that go on it. I'm using my stamping bug I got for Christmas. I love that thing. I used it a ton when I was making this layout, and I'm super happy with it. I inked everything up again, and so I ran it through on my stamping pad here 2 times to give me really crisp images, and I'm really happy with that. But it ended up kind of like destroying all those because I didn't like the second level of stamping, except for this berry twig spray, whatever. I do use that Juniper Breeze, I think is what it's called, Catherine Polar navy blue ink to make the berries. And so I'm going to make, I think I do like 7 twigs of those and 5 like greenery branches. I did some heat embossing, and you can see I did some distress oxides over this other one, and it just made it kind of garish, not really the color scheme that I was going for. And then that white heat embossing just covered up all the rest of the stamping. So really this is just meant to really fill out your evergreen branch. So I learned my lesson, and I'm just going with like a lighter green first, and then I'm going over the top with this like hunter green color, and I'm happy with how that looks. And I find that the like pigment inks, the dye inks are more crisp, and they're working better for me, for my preference with this stamp set. I love pigment inks, but the dye inks worked really well with that stamp set, and you can see I die cut them all already there on the right, and they are gorgeous. Now I'm going to work on the edges again. I grabbed this Amy Tangerine stamp set. I think it's from Brave and Bold and Brave, but there's this cute little open leaf, and so I'm going to use that to do multi-generational stamping all around the edges, and I'm going to ink it up, stamp it a lot of times. I'm going to turn it a bunch of different ways so that it looks like a pattern paper, and like the leaves are kind of just encroaching on the paper and from all different directions. So I go around the whole page with this stamp, and then I end up using also from that stamp set a little messy grid design that she has, and I used that recently on another page, and I really liked the way it looked. So I do stamp the messy grid. The first generation stamp, I do clean it off a little bit on that scrap paper, and then just stamp the ghosted images along the edge, because I do want it to be pretty subtle. yeah, and so I just feel like that helps tie the edges into the middle of the page and bring a lot of interest. I took Rika's layout as a good jumping off point, but I do kind of go way off because she's using browns and blacks, and I changed it to navies. I'm using the ink pad to pretty heavily go around and ink up all the edges of this white background paper as well, and I'm really happy with how that turned out, like a little vignette around the page. So again, don't forget, I'm turning it on its side, and I'm talking about what's going in the middle. So she has like a stamped image, and then maybe she probably has some like acetate or die cuts behind it. I think FX does a lot of acetate, printed acetate, but I'm going to do this stamp. It's a kaleidoscope stamp by Catherine Pooler. And then I'm going to use those die cut snowflakes that you can see up there in the top right. That's a Momenta die. It's like a border die of interconnected snowflakes, and I cut them out of navy blue paper. So I will remind you that this is a hop, and the awesome Mixed Media Frenzy group will be listed all down below. So please hop along and see all the inspiration using this amazing sketch and play along with us. I'm going to include the Facebook group down below if you want to play along with us and come scrap lift it as well. We would love to see what you create. So I went ahead and I glued down both of those borders. And remember that middle part's going to be covered by the photo. And then I grabbed some gold metallic watercolor, and I'm using it to create a lot of really small splatters around the page because my embellishments are going to have this really gold metallic look to them. So there, that frame on Rika's layout, she had a ton of chipboard. So that frame is from Paige Evans Wonders collection, and it has a lot of pretty gold foil. And then I'm also going to use a little thought bubble that's from my super old crepe paper collection that says adventure. So I cut that frame because I wanted it to peek out from either end of my photo, and I'm going to cover up the middle mostly with the photo, but there will be a little part that isn't covered by the photo, but I am going to cluster all of those greenery twigs and berry sprays around the photo so they will cover up any gaps that are missing between the photo and the cut frame. And what are we doing here? Oh, there's the title. It's Adventure, again, from that very old crepe paper set, and it is very gold foil. So I kind of made the edge stick up with some foam so that once I put it on top of the other chipboard and photo, it was laying kind of flat. So now I'm going to use the Stamp Market die cuts to group around the photo. And so I'm just going to put this one kind of going up, and then I'm going to put the larger one the opposite side going down so it gives a really nice symmetry, and then cluster all the blue little berries around. And in the original layout, when you twist it on its side at the bottom right, there would be, I think she used washi tape and like a little rectangular space going up from the bottom right. And so I am going to add a little bit of interest down there. You will see that here in a minute. But I am absolutely in love with these stamps and dies by Stamp Market. Their stuff is super high quality. I'll link down below to that store if you're interested. She has such amazing things, and her Instagram feed is just like luscious. She uses all the same color palette all the time. And I think she does all of her own design work from what I can tell, because it's very consistent and it's gorgeous. So I put her original layout back up, Rika's, and there you can see if you turn it 190-degree turn, then you have that washi tape strip that will be at the bottom right. So I grabbed another navy blue and gold chipboard piece from the Wonders collection. So I have like those two kind of gold pieces right there. So I needed a third down at the bottom where those twigs are to form a visual triangle. So I grabbed these metallic little cardstock stickers from Citrus Twist kits that I recently received, and there was one that said romp, and that is like 100% what Belle was doing out in the snow. Y'all, we had more snow today. I think we got like 8 inches of snow here in Tennessee, and that does not happen. It was quite an adventure, and Belle loved every second of it. Like, she is in love. We had to make her go in, and then she's been sleeping all night because she was exhausted. So I have this cute little snowflake gems, and then I have some navy gems from Pink Fresh Studio and some gold metallic gems. So I'm going to kind of combine all three of those and cluster them around, and that's going to be it. I know that was a mouthful and it was a lot. I'm going to put my affiliate links down below if you would like to go shopping at a cherry on top or more. And I also will link to Stamp Market, like I said, and I will put Rika's channel and her Instagram down below too. I'm really grateful to her for the inspiration, and make sure you check out the Mixed Media Frenzy Facebook group and hop along with us and join us in the scrap lift. Thank you guys for watching so much, and I'd love it if you'd like and subscribe. Bye, y'all.